Carlos Enríquez painted Héroe criollo, Creole Hero, in 1943. In the background, we can see the royal palms framed by a triangular opening in the row of abstracted trees, along with an empty chartreuse yellow meadow. In the foreground, we see an anthropomorphized horse. It is a twist on the centaur, with the body and head of a horse and a torso of a woman. Enríquez was highly influenced by surrealism, which comes through in the focal point, a hand with a pistol, that peeks out from the torso. We can see a portion of a face looking out from the centaur's neck. This might be a Mambi, a Cuban guerrilla fighter during the War of Independence, or a bandit, which were said to be idolized by those who lived in rural Cuban towns, who think of them as folklore heroes. Another painting by Enríquez, Bandolero Criollo, Creole Bandit, was painted in the same year, and shows a different scene with a similar color palette, figures, and style. When juxtaposed, the artworks could be a diptych, showing the hero and bandit in action during the War of Independence. This image is quite flat, yet Enríquez depicts some depth via overlapping and diminution. In the upper right corner, we see small royal palm trees, along with a vanishing point, to signify distance traveled. The main figures overlap the trees, while the Mambi's head and hand emerge from the centaur's human torso, creating some sense of space. Enríquez depicts flowing and organic lines, resulting in the illusion of movement. They are choppy and aggressive. Some of them warp around the central figure. It is slightly skewed, so the painting looks like it's melting off the canvas. The line combinations evoke a visual effect of moisture in the wind, or a thick visible humidity on a windy day. He chooses warm and cool colors, with the glowing bright yellows and greens dominating the center of the image. And Enríquez's renowned translucent and unpredictable brushwork is employed on the hindsight of the horse, where a horse leg appears. The figure is accentuated by the blending of teal and turquoise and purple. The overall texture seems smooth, but the treetops show some texture via small jerky lines, which appear to have been applied with a brush saturated with paint. A glowing orange-creamed colored oblong can be seen forming at the front legs of the centaur and spirals outward. Also, an irregularly shaped triangle at the upper right side. They work together, the oblong and the triangle, to create an irregular balance that conjures up the shape of an eye. Enríquez was an essential figure in the Vanguardian movement. Like many contemporaries, he sought to create a Cuban national identity by focusing on depicting rural Cuban folklore and elevating Guajiro and Afro-Cuban cultures. He was from an upper middle class. His father was the physician to Machado, and in 1927, for the Exposición Arte Nueva, he submitted 2 drawings that were deemed to criticize the bourgeois class. They created enough controversy that Machado told Enríquez's dad to get his son out of Cuba. Then, in the 1930s, Enríquez returned after Machado fell from power. Enríquez became an influential figure for artists from the preceding generations. He used his life experience and creative inspiration to develop a rebellious and satirical portrayal of the Cuban national identity.